Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Evelyn, can you hear me okay?
Hi, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. So I think first of all, we'll wait for people to be jumping on. We had a little technical issue, hence the fact that we are 5 minutes late, which is very un-Swiss and also
Very.
not very normal for myself. So apologies for the extra stress. We are live. It is working, which is a positive first step. So let's get into it. Let me just see here.
We managed.
Um, exactly. We look good. It is working. It seems to be live now on LinkedIn as well. Perhaps you can let us know, as we've had a few technical issues, and that's why we're late. Perhaps you can let us know if you can hear us, see us, if everything's okay, and we can get on with the session. So. Good afternoon, everybody. As always, we are live from Zurich, a few minutes late. Apologies, technical issues on my side. And yeah, we have almost made it. The weekend is near. Welcome to my guest today, Evelyn Palma, joining us actually from Sweden at the moment. I think a special reason. Normally you're in Zurich, but a special reason why you're in Sweden right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, exactly. So, 21st birthday, right?
Exactly. 21st
Yeah,
birthday to celebrate with the family. So
fantastic, fantastic. Um, and hi, everyone who's joining us. Let us know where you're looking in from, and we look forward to today's session. For those who don't know me, my name's Lee Diamond. I'm the owner of We Recruit, the recruitment to recruitment specialist for the Swiss market. We help agencies and companies find their recruitment, talent acquisition, and HR talent in Switzerland. And as always, my goal is to be a positive promoter of recruiters and recruitment in general, and really try to bring the community together in Switzerland. For those of you who are going to the HR Festival next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, come say hi, come talk about recruitment, have some chocolate. We have some awesome Swiss chocolate, so if that doesn't bring you to the stand, I don't know what does. And welcome to this live session and the next episode of the Swiss Recruitment Journeys. So I love these sessions because we get an insight into some of the most inspirational, passionate, and successful people in recruitment in Switzerland, the ups, the downs, and the good stuff in between. And of course, today is no exception with Evelyn. And my guest, Evelyn, is Chilean Swedish recruiter. Interesting mix. She has over a decade of experience in building and leading recruitment teams on an international level. But let me hand the word over to you, Evelyn, to introduce yourself.
yeah, thank you so much. First of all, Lee, thanks a lot for having me. And hi everyone who's joining. Thanks a lot for taking the time on a Friday afternoon. I know everyone is eager for the weekend. I'm Evelyn. I've been in the recruitment industry for the past 12 years. I am Chilean Swedish, like Lee said. Before recruitment, I used to work in finance. I lived and worked in 4 different countries. So I've been living in South America, across Europe, in Spain, in Sweden, obviously Switzerland now. So I have a quite international background and yeah, I fell in love in recruitment 12 years ago.
Okay, fantastic. It's probably easier to list the places you haven't lived than
Yeah.
the ones that you have. Exactly. And welcome to everybody joining us today. Thanks, David, Tom, Kevin, Dinesh, JG, Jean Gisela. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Katrina, Dinesh, and everybody. So, Santosh, thanks a lot for your comments. Awesome. So, the Swiss Recruitment Journeys, I always like to start these sessions with asking the same question, because I think we also discussed it, you and I. And it comes a little bit later in some of the questions I've prepared. We don't normally choose to go into recruitment. We always hear this expression of falling into recruitment. So there must have been an idea before you found it. So yeah, what did you want to be when you were young?
So I didn't have a specific thing always. I changed a few times, but I would say one of the things that I did, of course, a lot of trips between Chile and Sweden when I was a kid, and I was amazed by the flight attendants.
Hmm.
Imagine that their life must be amazing, traveling around the world for work, right? So
Hmm.
I wanted to be a flight attendant for a quite long time, and I still love traveling. So I kind of realized that dream in a different way. But I had
Hmm.
different things that I wanted to be when I grew up. It was not recruitment, and it was actually not finance either.
Things don't always work out as you
No,
think they
exactly,
will or plan
exactly. I
them
mean,
to be.
I live a little bit the life of a flight attendant every now and then.
Exactly. You're traveling around, you've lived in different locations, so
Exactly,
somehow it came true, but on a different level, right?
exactly, exactly.
Okay, perfect. Um, what actually brought you to Switzerland in the first place?
Work. So it was work for
Mhm.
both me and my fiance. It was for
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
Mainly.
Okay. Normally, it's either love or work. So
Yeah, it's normally it's one of the two.
yeah,
In
exactly.
my case, it was both.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And so, how did you actually get into recruitment? Tell us a bit about
Yeah, so I think like many of us in recruitment, it was not something that I didn't even know really what recruiters do before starting the job. So I was at the time in Chile. I was in Santiago. I had been transferred with IBM to Santiago from Spain to South America, and I
that.
wanted to stay in Chile a bit longer. So I started to apply for jobs and had an interview then with Michael Page and
Mhm.
the director there, Juan Ignacio Hernandez de la Torre, in case he's somewhere around. He basically started explaining and he asked me, "Did you ever consider recruitment?" And I said, "Not really. I don't really know what you guys do." And he explained what the job is about. And I thought it sounded really exciting. So I told him, "Yeah, I mean, why not try?" And for me, was I think the most scary part was the sales part because I'm honestly coming from a finance process background. I did not really see myself as someone that could do something within sales as well, right?
Mhm.
But you explain it as a consulting work, right? Where you really consult and you use your background to consult candidates and clients in that field. And that I found quite exciting. So I
Mhm.
had I don't know how many rounds of interviews that day. And then they made an offer. And I was very, very lucky that IBM actually paused my contract. So
Mhm.
they basically told me you can try this recruitment thing out for a year, and if you don't like it, you can come back to IBM, and if you
Okay.
like it, then I stop the contract. So I felt it was a risk, quite an easy risk to take to try.
Yeah. Okay. And then the idea of 1 year turned into 5 years, turned into almost 10 years, actually, right?
Correct, correct. So exactly. So it became a long journey.
Long journey, lots of promotions, lots of development, and obviously you must have enjoyed your time there. Otherwise, you wouldn't have stayed so long as well.
Of course.
Yeah. Um, so when you think about your career now in recruitment, obviously spanning more than 10 years, what time in your career do you think you learnt the most, and why?
So very good question. I mean, I honestly think that I've learned a lot many times in my
Hmm.
career. I think it's a never ending journey almost of learning, and that's why I also love the job because it's never the same. You're always exposed to new situations, new client situations, new candidates, so you're always learning. I mean, I would definitely say right now, honestly, having my own business, it's an incredible learning journey. I mean,
Hmm.
some days I feel like my brain is going to explode with all the information and ideas, and you have to be everywhere. So I would definitely say now having my own company is the time when I learned the most. But I would say every time I changed path in a way, either taking on a new division to recruit
Hmm.
in or moving countries, of course, it's a huge learning when you move to a new country. You have to start understanding, how the market functions, build your network. So I think
Hmm.
I've always been someone that has been very eager to learn and to develop myself. So I actually never had a role more than 2 years almost. If you look at my
Hmm.
career, I moved around. Either I got promotions or I switched to different divisions or to
Hmm.
different areas. So I've always been very eager to develop myself and to learn new things. So I think it's been always like every 2 years, basically, I had a learning, I would say almost. But I would say by far the biggest in terms of how I felt I've developed and basically being completely out of my comfort zone has been now having my own company. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. And the learning curve is just insane. And I feel like it never stops, basically.
Yeah.
You probably know more, but you had it longer. So I'm sure you experienced the same in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm still learning today, and I think that's, as you say, that's the great thing about recruitment. I think you always come up with new situations, clients needing new solutions or having new challenges that maybe they didn't have before. Um, and I think, yeah, as a business owner, you're the, the strategy, the HR, you're the IT support, you're the finance. You're basically doing everything. And I think I also maybe underestimated the amount of different things and learning that I would do. I thought, okay, I'll open my business, I'll start doing some recruitment, and I know that, so it'll be pretty straightforward. But I think there's always things that come up, and yeah, it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah, and I think it's exciting also that yeah, you can also try different things, right?
Mhm.
When you work for a company, you're still bound by processes and things, certain ways of working. And when you have your own business, you can really, if you come up with an idea of the client needs an alternative solution, you can actually come
Mhm.
up with that. So you have to
Yeah.
learn maybe something new just to deliver to the client something different as well.
Yeah, and that's the great thing of being obviously your own business owner. You can very quickly make a decision: do we want to do it, yes or no, and be very kind of quick to provide a solution as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, why do you think people don't see recruitment as a career? Talking about, I mean, most people never think about going into recruitment. They find themselves in recruitment. Um, why do you think it's still not really seen as a career, or not how to say, not known well enough as a career path?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that I've asked myself, and I think it's a shame also that it's
Mhm.
not seen as a career so much. I mean, I never heard about recruitment, for example, when I was studying. Like it
Yeah.
was never a path that someone would ever speak about. Even when you think internally, when I was, for example, working at IBM, I mean, it was great. We had great talent programs. We had a lot of development internally, but it was never. We never questioned, could someone in our organization be a recruiter? Why
Hmm.
not? You have great people in an organization that maybe are good dealing with people. They maybe have great networks. They normally maybe bring a lot of talent from their own network to the company. Why
Hmm.
not look at that potential and think, could we take someone internally and develop
Hmm.
them to internal recruiter? We never
Hmm.
think that way, right? So I think it's a shame that we don't position recruitment more as a career option. I think
Hmm.
again, we fell into recruitment,
Hmm.
right? Many of us, and I think I don't know if I would have had more understanding and knowledge of what the job actually is, because again, when you look at consulting, for example, you pitch
Hmm.
that a lot for uni. Like after uni, you can go into the big fours or whatever.
Hmm.
And I think recruitment could be seen in a similar way, and we don't speak about it that much because I really see it as a consulting job. Yes, a component of the job is sales,
Hmm.
and it depends how people see it. If you see it as a sales job, then how can you pitch recruitment as a sales industry then, right? So when
Hmm.
someone is looking into going into a sales position, we speak about pharma, automotive, selling in this, selling in that. We don't speak really about selling in recruitment to people. So why
Hmm.
not? If we see it that way. I see it as consulting, so the same there. If we see it as
Yeah.
consulting, why are we not speaking about the consulting option of working in recruitment and working with people, which I think
Hmm.
many people, I think it resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
recruitment side, working with people, they feel that they have that passion maybe inside of them, but they don't know really what to do, which area to go into. And
Hmm.
unless someone tells you, have you ever considered recruitment, like it happens to many of us, you would probably never try it.
Hmm.
uh, it's a shame because I think again it's a great career. It's again huge learning. It's
Hmm.
challenging, of course, but I believe it's a fantastic career to have, and the work
Hmm.
we do is incredibly important. I mean, for the job seekers and for the companies as well who are trying to get a good talent. In the end,
Hmm.
the core of every company is the people that they have in the organization.
Absolutely. I love the idea of kind of somehow upskilling internal employees when you've got people in the organization, and let's say you're a company where after, or some positions after a couple of years, the learning, growth and development can maybe be restricted, or perhaps the career path. There's always this element of people do some time and realize, I don't really want to go into management in what I'm doing. I love the company, but I'm stagnating a bit. I'm not growing. I'm not learning. And I love the idea of kind of giving these people the opportunity to transition into recruitment, because there's most of, or almost everything we do is kind of teachable and learnable, right? Of course, it takes patience, and there's but it starts with a motivation, passion for people, ability to network, obviously high EQ and communication skills. But I think a lot of people do have this, and I think a lot of people could be a great promoter of the organization to transfer internally. I love that idea.
And what better, if you think about it, what better than to have someone that already is in the company, representing
Mhm.
the company and recruiting for your company.
Yeah.
And again, I think it will benefit the companies tremendously if they would think about, and I think we always think, okay, we can move from finance to marketing, from marketing to
Mhm.
supply chain, so we move people around, and many companies
Mhm.
have great programs, but
Yeah.
I've at least not seen the option of internal recruitment in that, and I
Mm.
think that's something that we really need to consider.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, So, talking about considering career options and things. So, after some time at Michael Page, you took the decision to start your own business. Why?
Yeah, why not? No,
Yeah, that's, you could also ask that.
no, no, it's a thought that actually had. I mean, it came. The thought, I had the thought many times during
Hmm.
my long career with Michael Page. I mean, it was a great career there, and I
Hmm.
worked with amazing people. So really had a fantastic team, which is also the main reason why I stayed for so long, because we
Hmm.
really had a great team. But I had the thought for a while. I mean, it came up every now and then, and at some point the last years I heard more and more from clients that they were saying, hey, we really work with you no matter where you are, where you go. We it's you we work with. So it's a
Hmm.
person, right? It's with you, it's not
People
with
buy from people.
the brand. So then I of course, the more you hear it, you kind of start playing with the thought more and more. And then well, the pandemic happened. I mean, I was also sick for about a year. And I think the sickness was probably a little bit the push that I maybe needed, because it's never the right time. You never saved enough money. You have a promotion, you have something new, so you can always find an excuse not to do it. And I made
Mhm.
many excuses over the years to not do it. But I think in the end, I needed just that push, and I think once I had the push, it was just go for it. What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, it doesn't work out, you get a job again, and that's kind of the risk. I mean, besides the money risk, right? But it was
Mhm.
just it made sense. It made total sense, and
Mhm.
I'm extremely happy that I took the decision. I mean, I looking back, and I'm sure most people feel that way. You could have done it a bit sooner as well,
Mhm.
right? I could have done it.
Hindsight, it's always easier to say, why didn't I do this before?
Exactly, exactly. But I mean, I also wanted to be honest. I mean, I felt that I've always been someone that think about recruitment very long term. Every relationship that you build is a long term relationship. Candidates become clients, clients become candidates. I mean, it's the cycle of recruitment. And in a bigger organization, of course, you're very bound by a certain way of doing things, right? And I felt
Mhm.
more and more that I wasn't aligning necessarily with certain things, and I was spending a lot of time having internal discussions, especially
Mhm.
managing a team and so on. That wasn't really, I didn't see the value of those discussions many times,
Mhm.
and I was missing to really do what I love, which is to speak to customers, speak to candidates, place,
Mhm.
and just do that. So I think I was slowly going so much into, I don't know if you want to call it politics, but so much
Mhm.
going into that I was losing almost that passion for what I actually love to do. And I love to
Mhm.
lead. Don't get me wrong, I love to lead people. I love to have my
Mhm.
team. It was an amazing time. But of course, the more you grow, the more you start having other types of discussions. And
Mhm.
I thought I was getting too far from what I love doing, and then it just made sense to do my own thing, and I think really be able to do it the way that I believe it could be done, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and really having that more personalized approach than volume and KPIs and cold calling and all of that. That I think it's a
Mhm.
little bit
Yeah.
outdated.
I think, that was one of my kind of biggest realizations after starting my own business, of kind of seeing, okay, um, if I don't have to sit in meetings all the time, and all of these internal politics and all of these kind of things, you can actually be so productive. But like how much you can actually get done for a day. I remember starting my own business and looking at my emails thinking, okay, I like now I can actually just decide to do something as opposed to sit there and say, right, I have 100 emails I need to get through, 80 of which are, does it really need me? I'm copied in, but I have to look and this and all of these. All of these elements as well, and exactly what you said. I made a post just a day or so ago about why I changed from my leadership role, and I think exactly what you said, Evelyn. The closeness to clients, to candidates, to the teams and things like that. I think the higher up you go, the more distracted with other things you have, and for some people that's that's the career path and the way that they want to go. For me, it's kind of, as you said, start to lose some of the excitement and passion about why we do this job in the first place. So
Yeah, and I think because you have the restrictions that you have, right? I mean, I have many times customers that I
cool.
couldn't really work with for whatever
Yeah.
reason. It just didn't work out, right? Because we had our certain
Mhm.
policies, we had certain ways of doing things. So now I really feel that freedom that I can really find a solution, and I can come up
Mhm.
with something that maybe we never tried before, and we
Mhm.
can try with a customer and see what happens. So I think also that freedom to be able to give the service that you really want to give.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that's probably the key for me
Yeah.
to really go and start my own thing. And again, I mean, also not don't underestimate the fact of the freedom that you get. I mean, you have
Yeah.
complete freedom of your own time, which for me
Mhm.
was important after working so much for so
Mhm.
long to have that freedom of my own time again. Today
Mhm.
I'm in Sweden, and that's something that I could just take a flight and go. Right, you don't have to ask
Mhm.
for permission and approvals and all of that. So
Yeah.
freedom of your own time, and I think I just learned to value my time much more and differently. So
Mhm.
it was the right call for me to do that, and luckily, I mean, I have a great partner, Peter, who
Mhm.
is part of Blackbird, and we just complement each other really really well. I think we bring a lot of value, and I see it on the feedback that we're getting from candidates and clients that it's
Mhm.
really a powerful duo.
Awesome. So, what has been your biggest surprise since starting your business? Other than having lots of time that you don't spend in in meetings and things like that.
So one of the things that it was a very positive surprise. It was
Mhm.
the amount of support that I felt
Mhm.
was out there. I didn't expect it in that way. Like really, really people reaching out as soon as they heard that I had started the business. How can I help you? Can I introduce you to someone? I mean, it's been really amazing. Even just have a coffee to like pinpoint ideas, and people just offering overall support. And
Mhm.
I think when you're in that kind of corporate bubble, you don't see. I mean, it's basically all the rest it's a competition, and I've realized. I mean, more and more that that's not actually the reality. A lot of great recruiters are out there, and they want to help each other. And like with the group that you created
Mhm.
with Jenny, it's amazing, right? I mean, you see all these people having their own businesses, helping out, giving each other advice, sharing
Mhm.
tools, sharing information, asking each other
Mhm.
questions, and it's something that I didn't expect. So for me, I was happily surprised to see the amount of like the ecosystem that you have around, and
Mhm.
again from customers, from candidates. I mean, really just offering with no. I mean, I don't think with no, how do you call it? Like no.
No expectations, or
Yeah, exactly. We don't like no expectations of anything, just generally wanting to help someone starting their business to get more
Mhm.
business and
Mhm.
referring. We've been very lucky that I mean we haven't really had the need to do so much
Mhm.
commercial actions because we've been referred to customers. We've
Yeah.
been the customers that we acquired, then they keep coming back. So we have
Mhm.
several recruiters to the same company.
Mhm.
So it's been really great, and I think without all that support of people and the network referring us and things, I mean, it would of course not be possible. So I
Mhm.
didn't expect it, to be honest, in the magnitude that it was when we started. So I'm
Yeah.
extremely thankful and happily surprised that it's so many nice people out there.
I think it's just shows you that it's all worth it, and I think everyone likes to see someone take a risk, go out and do something themselves. Come away from a large organization to do something for them. What is meaningful and has purpose, and especially the Swiss market and Zurich market, which is so small, and it's just awesome to see how everybody supports and helps each other and lifts each other up. It's been
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of the Swiss market. I mean, I was asked yesterday at an event, how I perceive the Swiss market, and I said it's not easy to get in. And of course, in my case, when I came, I didn't speak German, so it was of course an additional hurdle that you have to pass by. But
Mhm.
then once you're in, like once you really show that you're qualitative, that they can trust you, I
Mhm.
mean, customers are extremely loyal as well. So yes,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
get in, but once you're in, you normally have clients then for a long time. So I think it's a great market to be in, and I
Mhm.
think when you have that long term mentality as a
Mhm.
recruiter, it will pay off. And I think for
Mhm.
me the biggest reward was that to see that when we started the business, the reaction from the market was just really really positive,
Yeah.
and I see all those relationships that I had built over the past 10 years in Switzerland really, really, yeah, coming out and showing
Mhm.
support basically, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
I think I love the fact that Switzerland allow basically you can create a fantastic reputation really quickly and make an impact on the market, but you can also burn bridges and destroy your reputation really, really quickly. So I feel like the Swiss market and Zurich market holds people somehow accountable for the way that they work. And I think if you look also a bit historically as well, I mean, depends on the markets, but if I would take the kind of technology, science, engineering market. I think some of the biggest, most successful players and that have been over the years have mostly been the boutiques. It's
Mm.
not been the large players, you know. I mean, we talked about Michael Page. I know over the years they've always wanted to get into tech and IT recruitment, but never been able to do it. And then you have these boutiques that are doing fantastic job, and if you look at the top supplier lists of the companies doing, for example, IT contracting, you know, 2/3 or half to 2/3 are the boutiques, the smaller companies, the ones working with quality, with reputation. You know, that's really unique about the Swiss market.
I fully agree, and then maybe that's also some a surprise in that sense that you're always nervous. Okay, you come from a big brand, is that
Mhm.
going to make a difference? Then when you come with
Yeah.
a brand that, of course, people don't know at all, right? And I
Hmm.
didn't see that as a big issue either. I mean, companies
Hmm.
were quite keen on getting you on board and getting you on their list if that
Hmm.
was how they work. So I haven't seen that restraint in a way, or
Hmm.
that block of
Yeah.
you're not big enough for anything. Like not at all, actually.
Mm. Okay. So we're making it all sound very rosy, very easy, fantastic industry to be in, a fantastic job to have. It's not always easy. There's always ups and downs. And I did say in my introduction to hear about the ups and downs as well. So, um, what was the hardest time for you, would you say, in your recruitment career?
I think every time when I moved countries for sure. Starting, I mean, first of all, in Chile, when I was in Santiago,
Mhm.
I didn't know. I had zero network, even though
Mhm.
I'm Chilean. As I said, I didn't live there, so I didn't have a network. I speak Spanish mother tongue, but I never really worked in Spanish before, so I had to really
Mhm.
work in Spanish on top of that. And it was very challenging to one, learn a completely new job, which was
Mhm.
recruitment, then enter a completely new market. When I came to Switzerland, Michael Page was going through not an easy time. There were a lot of people that were leaving at the time, and the atmosphere was, of course, not ideal.
Mhm.
And so I transferred from Santiago. The office there was the opposite, so it was growing, it was booming, and then I came to the Zurich market where it was not the same situation.
Mhm.
So that was very very difficult, and I think it takes a lot of energy because you just I was basically faced with a market that was not we were not well perceived in the market at the time as Michael
Mhm.
Page, right? So it was a lot of rebuilding reputation and winning the trust of the clients again, and they were tired of having five consultants in 1 year in the same division.
Mhm.
Right? So a lot of the work was how do we stabilize the team, how do we make how we work on retention, how do we make sure that, but it's a lot of work. I mean, our job is mentally draining. I mean, not just
Mhm.
physically draining, it's mentally draining because we're dealing with people all the time, right? Candidates have their own mind and their own opinions. Customers change their mind, or they close the headcounts, and you can be spending months working on a job, and then, oh, we close the headcount from, for whatever reason, and you have nothing in the end, right? So
Yeah.
very very demanding. So when you add to that you're struggling then internally maybe with the atmosphere, or
Yeah.
in that rebuilding, because we were rebuilding basically the office at the time in Michael Page. that was very tough. So I would say that the first probably year in Switzerland was very, very tough
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah, I think it's always hard, when someone joins recruitment that first year, huge learning curve, and you need to build your network, as we said before, your reputation. I think it takes a lot of energy and time as well. Um,
And you have to be very resilient because those, I think, I don't know, you have so many times when you feel nothing is working, right? Nothing is going your way. Like some of these bad months that really everything goes the other way. And it's very easy to give up, right? You especially when you start to say, okay, it's not for me, this is not the job for me. And I think
hmm
showing that resilience and not giving up and just continuing and trying again. I
hmm
think you have to be consistent in our job. You have to just keep going. You have to keep
Okay.
going.
hmm Okay. I think we're having a little bit of stability issues on the internet connection from your side. It's lagging a little bit, but hopefully everyone can still hear okay. But hopefully it comes back and becomes a bit stable. But then, did you ever think about quitting recruitment? Were there moments where you were like, that's it, I want out, I'm going to do something completely different, I'm going to go back to finance or something? Like, did that cross your mind?
It did. It
Yeah.
did a few times. A few times. So one of the main ones probably was to think of going into HR at some point,
hmm
right? Recruitment,
In-house.
in-house, do either internal recruitment or just really switch to more HR focused job.
hmm
It did cross my mind,
hmm
and I would probably have still done something with people. So
hmm
most likely, I would have been in HR in an organization.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Um, yeah. I think, I always say that recruit when it's going well, recruitment is the best job in the world. And when it's not, like anything else, it sucks. It really does.
The worst.
Yeah, exactly. The worst, but I think that's probably the same. You can say that about any job. When things are going well, it's really easy to be on a high and enjoying it, and when it's not, it's just, I guess, a bit easier to measure what going well means. You can be doing everything right in recruitment, and just simply not getting the results, and therefore the financial rewards. And I think that's the frustrating thing. That there's also an element of luck, timing, circumstance, complications. People, we're dealing with people. People, and it's not commodity in that sense. So people change their
No,
mind. Their personal situation changes. Um, Things happen in our lives, and this impacts all of the things. And these are also out of our control as well, right?
yeah, definitely. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're totally right, and I think again because at least when we really are passionate about the job and we really feel the job. I mean, I really get engaged with every. I mean, sometimes just not being able to help everyone takes a toll. You wish
Yeah.
you could help every candidate that crosses your door, right? You can't help
Mhm.
everyone. I mean, you can always do maybe small things, but you cannot place everyone. I mean, that would be great, right? We can't place everyone we come across. So I think even those things are. I mean, they take a lot of your energy and it is hard. I mean, it's hard because you take it. I mean, you take it a bit personally to a certain
Mm.
degree because it's a personal job, I believe, right? You
Yeah.
put yourself out there in a way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Where do you see the future for recruitment agencies? So, there's a lot of conversations going on about AI, and I mean, just this week, I was on an offsite for a couple of days with my team, and we had Selma with us. Basically coaching us around chat gpt and all of the possibilities, and I learned some awesome things. I have to share with you next time we see each other. But what do you think the future is for recruitment agencies and for people like us?
So I definitely think we cannot disregard the technology that is coming. I mean, I
Mhm,
think any recruiter who thinks that the tech will not impact our job will most likely not survive in a few years.
mhm,
I think we need to embrace technology, and I
mhm,
think we need to. probably it would show even more who are really adding value, right? What parts of the recruitment are we as humans really adding value, which I still believe we bring a massive value. I don't think you can I don't think AI, I mean, let's see in 10 years, but I don't think they could have the emotions that they could really, think outside of the box the way I think we can do when we have a person in front of us, to see transferable skills, to really see beyond the CV. I think this is really where our value add lays. I mean, if someone is doing the job of, I have a job description, I'm matching the CV, sorry guys, but you're going to be out in a few years, because that the system can do, right? I think our value add is really where we come after that, right? And we are the ones that say, ECV doesn't match the job description one-on-one, but for X, Y, and Z reason, I believe this is the right person for this job, right? This is where we really, really bring value. And I have a hard time thinking that the systems will be able to go that far. I think they will be able to do a lot. I think we need to think of how can we automatize things that are repetitive work that we all, I think most of us hate anyway. So how can how can we use tech to take away those parts of the job for us to have much more face time? I mean, in the end, I think, at least for myself, I love interacting with people. I love to meet people. I feel I learn from every person I meet, and that's why I feel this job is a constant learning. I mean, even leadership, I learned a lot of leadership things from my candidates and customers asking questions, right? And then you're like, oh, I thought about that way of doing it, right? So it's an amazing situation to be in, where you really interact with people and you learn. And I think that is where we bring value, and I think that will remain, and it will be even more important with all this tech. But I do believe we need to learn about it. We need to educate ourselves. We need to be question the technology as well. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm the first one to say, but wait a minute, what about bias? What about, it's a fact. I don't know if you've seen this documentary on Netflix, Coded Bias. Not have a look, really,
I'll check it out.
about AI and about the face recognition and things. And there was a girl from who was basically doing research about it, and it's extremely biased, right? So we know that is happening. Amazon stopped using their face recognition for a year because it was biased, and it was proven to be biased. So I'm the first one to say we need to question things. We need to say, okay, this is what the technology can do. Great. How is it doing it? Test it, right? And then see where could we fit it into our process. And again, focus a lot more on the value that we bring as humans. And I think, at least from my interactions with candidates, they even lacking sometimes that personal interaction with recruiters now. So, imagine then if you start, then suddenly you have a digital twin interviewing instead of a person, right? I mean, so again, in 10 years, who knows? Maybe we're all used to that and everyone interviews with avatars and it's perfectly fine. But what I believe is that the human part of our job will be even more important.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and I see Charlene, and let me just bring that in, has also made a comment saying, there's still the human factor that needs to be taken into consideration. And the paper is one side of it, but obviously meeting the people and being able to assess, you can have the perfect CV. It doesn't mean you're the perfect candidate. And we're only going to find that out through meeting these people. And I always like to say as well that, once we have hiring managers that fully understand what they want and that is matched to what they can attract for their team and organization, and these things are somehow all aligned. As long as we don't have that, which I think is nearly impossible, and as long as we are specialized in what we do, we're not generalists, we're not, that's where we bring in the value. And
I can tell you, it happened to me just last week. We were approached by a company that had worked with two bigger recruitment firms for they've been recruiting it for months and months and months without results. So I asked a couple of questions, and then I said, well, what you're going out looking, you're not looking for that person. You're not looking for that role. Actually, what you're looking for is instead, and really completely changed the title of the role. I didn't even see the job description, but I knew that was the problem. They were not looking at the right person in the market. Sometimes you're not looking for a CFO. You're looking for a finance manager, in fact, and that's why you're not finding the right person. So I think the system, again, you can have the JD that you did, you can have this. And another problem that we're not thinking about, let's say you can do the job ad with AI, right? They can
Mhm.
today you can go to ChatGPT, write me an ad for a finance director, it will pop up, right? But the
Mhm.
candidates can do the same. They can say, please, here's the job description,
Mhm.
write me a CV matching this job.
Yeah.
Right? So in the end, you're going to have AI versus AI.
You're talking to AI.
I
Yeah.
mean, in the end, that's going to happen, right? You can make your CV customized to the job ad that was done
Mhm.
by AI.
Yeah.
CV will be done by AI. So where again, our job will be
Yeah.
more important because we're the ones that will need to sit down, interview, and make sure that okay, is it
Yeah.
really this and that? So I think even from that perspective, we need to think about the technology coming in that way.
Yes, yeah. Imagine if all of a sudden nobody's actually involved in the whole process up until a certain point. Then there needs human interaction to be able to work out, okay, who's just using Chat GPT and actually doesn't, when challenge doesn't know all of these things or isn't the perfect match. So,
You will know when someone is not the perfect match,
yeah,
they don't use AI, basically.
yeah, exactly. No, perfect. And we've got some other comments coming in from Camille, I think if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hopefully, um, yeah, I think again that's just another reason. If more and more things are becoming through AI, there's even more reason why we as recruiters and just in general in business, why the human element is going to be so important in the future as well.
I mean, I
We've
see
had
it
yeah.
just with, sorry. I see it
No,
even
okay.
doing video interviews. I still
Mhm.
prefer face to face. And I love that the fact that you can do video interviews now, and that
Yeah.
you don't have to ask candidates to come an hour for a general
Mhm.
interview or an hour and then they don't match the role,
Mhm.
right? So I love the idea that we can use it. But
Mhm.
I still somehow find that when you meet that candidate in person, it's just so different for both. I think also for
Mhm.
them, that you will represent them probably differently because you have that human interaction. So I think this is really where we as recruiters really, really bring value. And I don't think that will go away. It will
Mhm.
be more enhanced, I think, with technology in a way.
Absolutely.
Or should be,
Absolutely.
hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Um, let's talk about the fact. I mean, we've mentioned a few things along the way. It's not an easy business. There's ups and downs. There's frustrating times, politics, complications along the way. But here you are, more than 10 years down the road, with your own business, smiling, probably like you've never been smiling before. Um, why did you specifically, Evelyn, get to where you are? Was there key moments you feel in your career where like this is what made me, or yeah, what do you think?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but in general, I would say that attitude of embracing the challenges that were in front of me. Like
Mhm.
okay, open this division. I have no clue what they do. I don't know in banking, but
Mm,
go for it. I think
mhm,
just like take the opportunities that are in front. And I think I took a lot of risks. Again, moving countries,
mhm,
changing careers, opening divisions that I had no clue about, things like that. But when the opportunity came, I always took it,
mhm,
and I always believe everything happens for a reason somehow. I believe that you
mhm,
somehow end up doing what you're supposed to do. The road
yeah,
might be like this, for others it's straight, for some it's
yeah,
curvy, but I think in the end of the day you will do what you're supposed to do. And
yeah,
for me the key has been that I never turn an opportunity down in the sense
mhm,
of that I felt was right. I mean, I turned many
mhm,
opportunities down, but things that I felt were right for me, even if I didn't know, even if I felt I wasn't maybe 100% ready for something, I would
mhm,
go for it because I knew I could do it. And I think that self confidence, in a way of knowing that with a lot of hard work, honestly,
mhm,
those things are possible. You can learn. I mean, I remember when I opened banking, I bought all the banking for dummies that were out
mhm,
there, investment banking for dummies, this for dummies.
yeah,
And I studied like really like a student to learn. If I'm going to go and meet clients,
mhm,
what do I have to know about banking? Then, of course, I
mhm,
had
mhm,
great people in the team, so they also gave me some training then,
yeah,
right? But I think that kind of eagerness to learn, I think that's what I believe so much in the people's skill set, not the CV, not the piece of paper that you have.
mhm,
It's the attitude, it's the willingness to learn, it's being curious. I think a lot
mhm,
of at least my career has been being
mhm,
curious. is recruitment? Let me try it. Why not?
Mhm.
Oh, what is banking doing? Let me try it. Why not? What
Yeah,
is stream? Let me try it. Why not? Let's
yeah.
start a company. Why not? So so I think really that just taking opportunities and really not being afraid. I think
Yeah.
especially maybe us women, we tend to be more, oh, but if I don't fit this 100%, I'm not right, I'm not ready. No,
Mhm.
we are ready, and people might tell you you're not, but you are. You have to go for it.
Yeah. You never know unless you try. But I think, Evelyn, you're quite special in that sense because most recruiters generally stay within their niche. So for example, someone starts in banking and finance, they end up probably doing that kind of niche throughout their career. The fact that you've done so many different things as well, I think that also just reconfirms what you've said about not willing to try, not afraid to try something new, to try different things, because I think a lot of recruiters stay within kind of one space. And I'm sure you agree, if you're a great recruiter, you can recruit other areas. However, of course, there's a massive learning curve, because you want to be credible, you want to be relatable, you want to understand what the people are doing in order to be able to recruit it and do the best possible job. But I think that's also quite unique about you, that you've done so many different things, because most would stay in their comfort zone and in within their niche.
I mean, yeah, you're right. And I mean, I was also lucky that I always kept the core in finance. So I've always
Hmm.
remembered finance. So I always added. So I did finance
Hmm.
and banking, and then I did normally finance roles in banking. So I always went
Hmm.
to fields with that kind of
Hmm.
comfort of finance, because that's really my core, where I really have the
Yeah,
network, where I really feel strong
yeah.
because I have the background. But yes, I think, and I wish actually companies. I actually had an interview yesterday, and the person was telling me, in the end, the talent is not the functions; it's the
Hmm.
organization.
Hmm.
Many times, put people, it's my team. No, but if I lose that person to that team,
Yeah.
then it's not good for me. It's very egoistic as a leader, I
Hmm.
believe. And I think if we just give people more chances when they're stuck, because I think when you do the same type of roles over and over and over, I mean, I don't know, after
Hmm.
3 years, you're probably fed up already. So
Yeah.
why not let the person keep that core? Because yes, you maybe bring revenue in that core.
Yeah.
Let them try to do IT for in
Yeah.
parallel and see if it works out. Like really, or if they really want, switch them to the team. If you have IT in your organization, why not give them the
Mhm.
chance to change? I think
Yeah.
we put people in boxes, and they can kind of not leave that box. And I
Yeah.
think I was happy at Michael Page that I was allowed to keep finance always as a core, but do these different things with together.
Mhm.
And that I think is really crucial. And it's a shame, I think, that we put people in boxes and we don't let them many times go
Yeah.
outside of that, even if they want and they ask for it many times.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I had a concrete example in one of my previous roles where one of the top performers from another team and division wanted to join my team, and unfortunately, through politics, through different things, that person wasn't allowed, and the company lost the person, literally the top performing person in the country. And yeah, I think sometimes giving those people the chance to grow and develop and learn new things is essential. But we're often in recruitment agencies quite narrow-minded towards, okay, that person's working for me. They're making money for me. If I lose them, I don't have those billings on my P&L, and that's more important than the individual's potential desires and also the greater organization, let's say.
Yeah, and that's the same with any organization, like we were saying before, like that internal talent rotation. I believe today, especially when the market is tough, I think it's
Hmm.
important for companies to also think, hey, how can we utilize our internal talent better? Because
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
have a lot of capabilities and you have a lot of potential, and people that
Hmm.
want to do more and want to
Yeah.
learn new things. Why
Yeah.
not give them the chance? Like, what do you really have to lose? Yeah, you will lose
Hmm.
the person maybe, and you have to
Hmm.
bring in a new person and train them and so on. So I
Yeah.
think that kind of rotation and giving people chances, I think in
Hmm.
recruitment is missing a lot. I feel, at least from my
Yeah.
experience, we didn't do it enough, and I felt
Hmm.
between brands, between divisions,
Yeah.
let people grow. I mean, it's like the person told me yesterday, the talent belongs to the organization, not to the
Hmm.
function.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very true. I like that. The talent belongs not to the Um,
That's the function, because again, if you're in finance, it doesn't belong to finance. That person
yeah.
belongs to the organization.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. I think you should make a quote out of that, Evelyn. I've seen, actually, I have to give you a credit as well. Your LinkedIn content and everything you're putting out there is fantastic, and I see it getting great traction. I think that's definitely a quote you need to frame and put out there for
And
sure.
I already made it in quotes when she told me. I was like, I will use this. No,
Awesome.
I love
Awesome.
it. I think it summarized everything about talent development quite well, I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what will I can see a thing here. What will you do differently in your company? I see a spelling mistake there. What will you do differently in company? What's going to be your differentiator? You know, you've left Michael Page, start your own business. Clearly, whenever someone starts their own business, it's because they want to do it the way they want to do it. What does that mean for you?
I mean, for us, it's really that really putting the human at the core of everything we do, and this is really something that we just not say we do, and we see it with the feedback that we're getting from, especially from candidates. I think the candidate experience is neglected a lot in our
Mhm,
industry, and you
mhm,
can make a massive difference just by being much better on that experience on one side, and that flexibility, like I was saying before, of adapting to customers' needs. To you have a startup, they cannot pay your fees the same way. Can you come up with a
mhm,
crazy idea of how to get that and make a win-win out of that? So I think our biggest value add is I always think that in recruitment, your biggest value add and the biggest differentiator is always the people you have. Who is
mhm.
recruiting? That's how you make the difference. In the
Yeah.
end of the day, the work of recruiters is more or less the same. Again, you can use more tech or less or whatever, but
Mhm,
work that we do, I would be surprised if someone is doing something absolutely crazy different. But the
mhm,
real difference is how you're doing it and what approach do you have, and making people feel that they do matter as a candidate, that even if you cannot help them, give them a tip, put them in touch with someone, give them a feedback. I mean, all of these things that we miss, it's something that both me and Peter feel very strong about, because we've both been candidates as well at some point in our
mhm,
career. We know how it feels to be looking for a job. It's not fun. No one
mhm,
enjoys looking for a job. That's just a fact. So if we can help in that moment the people to feel a little bit better about it and to get a little bit of hope, and to keep fighting through that hurdle of finding a new job, then we really feel happy about that and we're passionate
mhm,
about that. So for us, putting the human at the core, and we're constantly looking for ways to improve that candidate experience
mhm,
and to keep finding new ways to serve our clients in a sense that fits also their needs, because not every company has the same need. This
mhm,
kind of one size, I always say one size fits none. It doesn't
mhm.
do, it doesn't fit every company. And that's why in the past I had to say no to some companies that wanted to work with me, because we had this, it's one size, it needs to fit you,
Mhm,
right? And
mhm.
there I think we are differentiating ourselves quite a lot with our approach, and we have a lot of ideas. I mean, we're still fairly new, and we have a lot of really cool ideas to do in the future.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. I think definitely coming with the right values and from the right direction. I think when these are what cements you, what gives you foundation. I think from there everything can grow. So last question. We're almost up, almost at the hour. I told you the time would fly by, and it has. What's the outlook for your business? You know, do you want to grow? Is this a lifestyle? Where can we see your business going in the future?
Yeah, so we're not close to growing at all. I mean, we actually
Mhm.
been discussing it already, because we have a lot to do. So we were like, okay, at some point we probably need to bring on the third person sometime this year. But we don't want to be the biggest and all of that. We really want to make sure that whoever we bring on board and when we bring them on board will be right both for us and for the person. So
Mhm.
I would say grow steadily, and our vision is really to be a boutique. We don't want to be crazy big. We don't want to, we want to have maybe, I don't know, a small boutique, 8, 10 people, really passionate about
Mhm.
what they do. We have a lot of, I have no doubt we're going to be an amazing employer when we hire. We have so many ideas of things we want to do with employees later on. So I have no doubt that we will be able to build something really amazing. But again, we're also enjoying the lifestyle for now, the freedom that you
Mhm.
get by being your own boss in a way, and being two is a
Mhm.
little bit easier as well. So So yeah, for us, it's definitely to grow, but when the time is right, grow when it feels right for us,
Hmm.
and for sure with the right people that share our values. I think if we build something bigger, it needs to be
Hmm.
something that we can still stand behind. And I would hate to lose those core values that we have today. So that would be for us the key. So to not grow too big, to make sure that we don't lose that core, because I
Yeah.
think you can keep it when you're a boutique and small.
Absolutely. It resonates a lot with me. I think being able to do things at the same level of quality and passion and with the same emotion, let's say, to be able to grow that. And I see as well, Peter added something in here as well, talking about the candidate and where you're coming from, that, to make each candidate feel like an individual, not a product. And I think that this is often the one of the big differentiators: how the candidates are treated, how they're looked after, how the communication is, sharing feedback, always having these touch points. So thanks also, Peter, for sharing as well. So, Evelyn, it's been an absolute pleasure learning more about you. I've got to get to know you better as well through this, about where Blackbird is going. It's so rewarding being able to listen to other entrepreneurs who've set up their own business. The passion is glowing out of you of what you do, and your smile out. And I really wish you and Peter all the best and a lot of luck in what you're doing. I know we have lots of touch points also through the Swiss Recruitment Startups group. Um, and I hope and wish you a very happy birthday and enjoy your time with the family in Sweden right now. And for those who are there next week at the HR Festival, come check us out. Come say hi. And thank you everybody in the comments who commented, who took time out of their day to listen to Evelyn's story. And thank you very much, Evelyn.
No, thank you again, Lee, for having me. Thanks everyone for joining in on a Friday afternoon. I know everyone is eager for the weekend, so I appreciate it even more. And again, really fun. The hour went really quick, so you were right.
Yeah, I
And,
told you.
really excited about it, and again, happy to have been here. Thank you so much again, Lee, and thanks everyone. And wishing you all a fantastic weekend, because I will have an amazing one.
Enjoy, and I'm sure it's not our last live session together either.
I'm
All right,
sure.
perfect. Take care. Wish
You too.
everyone a wonderful weekend. Thanks a
Enjoy.
lot. Bye
Bye.
bye.